Hey YouTube, got another knife review for you. This is the Fox Bantay folder. It is manufactured in Maniago, Italy. The blade length is 3.75 inches. You can see it is a modified clip point, hollow ground. The opening facility is an opening hole that is oval shaped. Right, the handle. G10 handle scales. It does have a tungsten glass breaker right there. It has a 2-position pocket clip. Comes set up for right side tip-up carry. Can be adjusted to left side. It does have a lanyard hole right there. And the overall, the shape of this knife lends itself very well to being used. It feels very natural using it in this a hammer grip as an impact device, and you see it does kind of come to a point right there. Alright, now to open the knife, you see there's a large cutout there and there to actually get access to the opening hole. The opening is a little bit tricky. With many knives with an opening hole, you can kind of go in kind of an arc-like motion, but with this you have to push straight up. You have to push straight up and then it will open. If you try to open it in more of an arcing motion, it is not going to work. Okay, so just remember straight up and it will open. You see there's some texturing right there. There is a swedge. Alright, a real quick size comparison. This is a Spyderco Endura. It's the foliage green ones because that's the only Endura I have. And these are of roughly comparable size. Okay, a lot of people have the Endura, so if you want to see it next to something, these are roughly of comparable size in blade length and overall length and handle length. The Endura is just very slightly longer in both blade length and handle length, but yeah, it's around the size of your Endura. Now this blade was designed by a military trainer in Eastern Europe. I'll put all the information in the text box, of course, but it was designed specifically for use with the Filipino martial arts. The word bahn-tai in Tagalog, which is Filipino language, it means guardian, and the idea is kind of like a bodyguard for you, or guarding your life. Right, now the N690Co steel, that is an Austrian steel. It is a very high quality steel, and the knife did arrive very sharp. Now, almost all knives that I've purchased from Fox were extremely sharp, and they almost all use the N690 steel. Let's try and do a slow cut. That's how it arrived out of the box. Yeah, just extremely sharp out of the box, and that's what I've pretty much come to expect from Fox knives. Very high initial sharpness, and it is a liner lock mechanism. You see that there. There is texturing on the liner. It is open construction. Pillars there. You see the stop pin there. It does have a secondary lock. It is the LAWKS system, LAWKS. You might be familiar with the LAWKS system because it is featured on many Columbia River knife and tool knives. All right, and they are licensed to use this. All right, so they didn't copy it. What it does is it inserts a small, I don't know if you can see, it inserts a small bit of metal there which physically prevents the liner from being disengaged. Obviously it's not indestructible, but it just gives you a little bit extra security, which I like. And it's positioned correctly, so you would naturally just engage it with it's not going to take any extra time to do that because your thumb is so close to it anyway. That jimping is nice. and it's very hard to find in the US. I got this at A to Z Knives. That's what it's called, A2ZKnives.com. They only had 2 in stock when I got this, which was several months ago. I believe you can also order them from the Fox website directly, but the price is going to be even more. Now let's just talk about the design of the knife, why they design it like this. Well, basically, this is designed so that you can use a lot of different techniques. Obviously, the pointed tip lends itself to thrusting. The belly right there lends itself to slashing, or what you would call impact cutting. And then the slight recurve there lends itself to more, I'm not going to cut myself, close cutting. Right? And it fits the curves that are found on a human body. So you can put it against the curve and then draw cut, drawing that belly through. Much like the Ken Onion type recurve designs. Right, so this has a lot of different tricks to it. Basically, they basically designed it to be used as an impact weapon, or for thrusting, for slashing, or for close, grappling with a knife, close cutting, that sort of thing. All right, now the texture of the G10. See that there? It is very grippy. It does provide a good grip, and also you see a finger groove there. So it does provide a good grip. This crater right here, and there's kind of a crater in the shape of the clip there, that's for indexing. Indexing in knife combat is basically switching grips. Your fingers can go into those craters, and then, if you were to switch grips, your fingers, some people do it like this and then flip it, right? And some people will flip it and then turn it. Either way can work, but in any case, your fingers end up in those craters. All right, so that's indexing. That's what that's for. Oh, and one more thing I want to note: this can be held not only in the reverse grip, this can be held comfortably in the edge in reverse grip. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that grip. Sometimes it's called a reaper grip or a scythe grip. I just call it edge in reverse. But I find that to be a very useful grip for draw cuts and all manner of things, right? So yes, it can even be used in that grip. So truly many tricks up the sleeve of this blade. Alright, so overall, the knife has a lot of tricks you can use with it, or a lot of tactics, you could say. Is it the ultimate fighting folder? I don't believe that there's an ultimate fighting folder. I think it just matters a lot more what you're trained to do. It has a lot of tricks. If you're a beginner, that could confuse you. You might just need something more simple, like just a straight up dagger. Right? But if you're trained to use a variety of different techniques, what it does is it gives you options. Overall, is this a good knife? It is a very high quality knife. Fox is a very, very respectable knife company. The grip is very secure. The only hit against it is the deployment is not as good as some knives. That's the only thing I could find that really could be a hit against it. But the lockup is secure. There is no blade play. The secondary lock gives you a little more safety. The texture and contour, it's all done correctly. It came razor sharp, and I understand what they're trying to do with the shape of the knife, and it does give you a lot of options. So overall, yeah. Oh, and I like the steel. That's a very nice, high quality steel, in my opinion. So overall, yeah, it's a very high quality knife. Do you necessarily need it? As I said, your training is a lot more important, but if you're interested in this knife, I hope this review has given you, enough information to make your own decision. And overall, it's kind of a funny knife because it's manufactured in Italy. It was designed by an Eastern European, and it was meant for Filipino martial arts, and it uses an Austrian steel. So it's just like, you know, I couldn't resist it. I mean, I'm half Philippine, so I couldn't really resist just checking it out. You two, hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for many more. I am out of here.